Again, the same as the knuckles would go on a hand. It takes the same exact shape. Um, a big difference being that with your toes, your big toe extends out the furthest, and with your hand, your middle finger extends out the furthest. And you can see I'm using the same basic construction every single time for my foot, and for me, it is so effective. I never got to meet Gil Kane, but I wish I could thank him for that. It's been very useful for me. And so what I'm doing here, I'm going to draw a foot that's just a little cleaner and tighter. And this is a superhero foot. He's got a superhero boot on, um, and that's basically how to approach it. It's my basic foot form that I'm using, just with some line weights on it, and some better described connecting points. And this kind of foot I encounter all the time. Obviously, drawing superhero comics, I draw a lot of toeless feet, and they really don't need a great deal of detail because they have a boot on. So, and it would be very distracting. It's one thing to have tendons on your hands with veins and that kind of thing because the hands carry so much character, but it would be very very distracting to see that on feet all the time. I know that superhero costumes can be drawn really tightly, and a lot of times draw veins on the arms that you see through a superhero's shirt, which obviously in real life would be impossible, but it works for a comic book. But I would never go so far as to draw veins on feet for a hero. I'm really concentrating on this sort of foot just because it's something that if you're looking to draw comic books, you'll run into a lot. And there it is, the same basic form again, just from a different angle. It's very very simple. And here's that same foot from behind with the toe pointed. It's an angle I run into quite a bit. If you ever have characters that are flying or running, even, it's an angle that's very good to get familiar with. And you can see thicker lines at connecting points and thicker lines and underside curves. I'm going to make sure to shore up the connection point under that ankle bone there, make the line thicker in that inside curve and under the calf muscle there. And that's all it really comes down to. It's just some good line weights. I could make the whole bottom of that foot, the whole base of that foot dark, and that would work. But because it's pointed, it's turned up into the light quite a bit, so might not necessarily be quite as effective as just leaving it open.